Good morning everyone, welcome back to Slits Car Care. So this week we have this Mk8 Golf GTI Clubsport in for the Ceramic Pro Silver package with a few extra bolt-ons as well. Obviously this is the first Mk8 we'll have had in our workshop. And not just that, it's a club sport as well. So it'll be receiving a single stage paint enhancement, one layer of Ceramic Pro 9H, one layer of top coat, all of the glass coated, the wheels removed and coated, which are aftermarket OZ racing wheels. I'm not sure what model, but they're also very nice, much nicer than the standard ones. So yeah, the wheels will be removed and coated, the calipers coated, the arches cleaned up, and the interior given a good clean too. So yeah, this car is roughly 3 or 4 months old now, so I'll be interested to get it inside and see what damage is on the paintwork for us to rectify. So let's get the wash stages finished and get it in. Okay, so the GTI Clubsport is now pulled inside, it's fully prepped, it's been decontaminated and clayed, and it's now ready to start polishing. This car's actually owned by one of our good mates, Dave, so let's insert a clip of Dave doing something stupid now. And now we can take a look around the car to see what defects that we're working with. Sorry, Dave. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. You can see straight away that this colour is not going to show the best before and afters in the world, as the colour does hide a few of the defects, but you can see from the other trims and areas on the car that it's not in the best condition and it does need a bit of love, so let's see how much of a difference we can make on it. But before we properly get into it, I want you to pause this video just for a second and do me a favour and subscribe to the channel and like the video. Show us some love, show us some support, and we'll keep making these videos for you guys. So a really nice combination that we found to work on this car was the Roots yellow foam pad with Kosh Chemi H9, which is a heavy cut but is an oilier heavy cut, so it's less mess, and also it still finishes down really nicely, so that's what we ended up using for 90% of the car. Now we were on a slightly tighter timescale than usual on this car because our customer needed his car back, and also wanted to do a few little extras for him too, so we're making sure that we mask everything off meticulously to make sure there's as minimal cleanup as possible, and we're working as efficiently as we can. But you can see already, like on this wing mirror, there's going to be a fantastic result at the end of the detail. Now this was probably one of the trickiest bits on the car because the vinyls were matte. You know, the decals down the side on the lower parts here, we had to individually mask these off and polish around them with the 1-inch polisher. So this was probably the fiddliest and biggest pain in the arse on the car, if I'm being honest. gloss blacks on this were an absolute pain in the arse to finish down also. So what we ended up doing is using the white Roops foam pad by hand with Koshkemi M3, which is a very fine cut, watering that down as well, and using a damp applicator, I say by hand, to try and get them to finish properly. And once that was done, we applied NLD dress to the engine bay and started panel wiping the rest of the car in preparation for coatings. So this one was having a single layer of Ceramic Pro 9H, so me and Joe work around the car, a panel at a time, applying and instantly removing this layer of coating. If you haven't seen us do this before, go back and check out some of our other videos. Once that was done, it was time for the glass coatings to go on, and then we can start looking at some of the other areas of the car, so the 9H has some time to cure before we apply the final layer of coating to the paintwork. Now it's time for the wheels to get some love before they get coated. So the front and backs of the wheels have obviously already been decontaminated in the wash process. They've had a fallout remover and tar and glue remover applied. We then clayed them. This was to ensure they're perfectly clean before those coatings go on. So now the coatings have been applied to the wheels and also the calipers as well. These areas are now protected and we can turn our attention to the other areas on the car. These wheel centres as well, these are a bit of a nuisance I think when it came to cleaning the car normally, as the little ridges around the OZ badge just seem to hold dirt really bad. So we intricately went in there with a cotton bud before fitting those back on the car to make sure they were clean.
Whoa.
I think Joe was having a bit of a ball ache fitting these centres back on the wheels, but he got there in the end.
Eventually.
Go on, lad. So now the rest of the car was finished, it's time for top coat, the final layer of coating on the paintwork. But just before we do that, I wanted to do something a little bit extra, so we spray coated all of the grills and plastics on the car with a nice thick layer to give them a bit more protection, make them easier to clean and enhance the finish too. Now, if you guys have made it this far into the video and you haven't smashed on that subscribe button, what are you playing at? It costs nothing to do. So after the top coat had been applied to the bodywork, we then sprayed some on the wheels as well and buffed that off for that extra little bit of protection. And it was time for a final check over in the dark to make sure there's no smears or high spots on the vehicle. Right, I'm going to wrap it up here, folks, and pass you back to myself. But don't forget to like the video, please subscribe to the channel and show us some love, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Okay, so there we have it. That marks the end of the Mk8 GTI Clubsport detail. Obviously it's had a few little extras because Dave's one of our very close mates, so we've coated the door shuts and spray coated all of the grills with Ceramic Pro top coat as well, which has given them a much nicer finish. They're much darker and they've got a little bit of a sheen to them as well, and they should also stay looking like that. Anyway, we'll get some outro clips done for you now. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, do me a favour, do you a favour, it doesn't cost anything, it's free. And while you're there as well, you may as well smash on that like button because it helps us get found better across YouTube and hopefully grow the channel. But anyway, we'll catch you on Sunday at 6 PM next week for our next video, and we shall see you then.
Fancy that. Very, very glossy, doesn't it? Yeah, man. I think we've got a little setting on. It's fucking bad boy, isn't it? Cleaner than when it come out of the fucking showroom.